Hey friends, I'm excited to be here. Okay, so I'm having a creative day, and I get real creative. I'm going to show you this microphone hack in a second. Um, I get real creative. I do, and I can't stop. And I know. I was like, oh man, I should go live, and I'm like, I don't even know what I would talk about. I'm in creative mode. I'm like, how about you just talk about what you're creating for them? I'm like, oh, that's a good idea, Michelle. Inner, that's what's going on in my brain. So, if it's your first time joining me, my name is Michelle Cunningham. I've been a network marketer for 17 years, and 2 years ago, I left the industry after being a top leader after failing for 6 years because I'm an introvert who came from humble beginnings, who's incredibly shy. Well, maybe I'm over the shy part at this point. Okay, I think I'm over it. I think I'm over it. That's another conversation. But either way, 2 years ago, I left the industry, November 2019. One, two, is that two? Is that three? 2 years. I think it's 2 years. 2 years ago, I left the industry to be a full time trainer because I absolutely love it. I love making things. I love coming up with ideas. I love strategy. I love all of it. Like, you know how you find your thing? This is my thing. And I have a heart for network marketers because for 17 years, I was a network marketer. And for the first 6 of those years, I was a failure. Like, literally, they were like, go and talk to people. I'm like, what do you mean, talk to people? Go sell them the product. I'm like, in public? I'm like, that's horrifying. Are people doing this? Because I'm not doing that. So anyway, I'm working on something. I got January Jumpstart. So every year as a network marketer, here's a story for you. Every year, and I'll put it up on the thing if you're like, I don't have time. I don't have time to listen to this madness right now. Boom, that's all I'm gonna say. So every year I hosted an event. It was called January Jumpstart. And I would rent out a hotel room and I'd invite my team and I'd invite some local teams to come and I would give them the scoop on what exactly I did to go from being stuck for 6 years to finally like boom, six after I made a decision, I'm gonna do this 6 months later. I had a team of 50 reps. I had hundreds of customers. And that month I made over $5,000. People are like, wait, you did that in 6 months? I'm like, well, actually, you could say it took me 6.5 years, but that 6 years of failure, no, I'm not gonna say it took me 6.5 years to finally recruit 50 people. No, when I finally made the decision to get real, then 6 months later, my life was different. And some of you might be stuck. Sometimes we get stuck in this industry, or there's too many people giving advice. I feel like I just got hair in my mouth. It's very awkward. Please hold. I must fix it. Yeah, I just somehow was eating my hair. Awkward. It's okay though. I didn't swallow it. That's yeah, that could have been bad. Okay. So anyway, for 6 years though, I was stuck. And then I finally was fed up enough with my corporate job. I was in commercial real estate. The market crashed. It was 2009. There was all these amazing things that happened at the time. I was like, my life is over. This is my life. I don't know what I'm gonna do with my life. You ever been in that point in your life where you're like, if there was just a book I could read this month because I don't know what to do. I don't know what to, I need a book. If there was a book, do I go yes? Do I go no? Do we, life, it was a major life moment in 2009. I was like, what am I going to do? And I was like, dude, you are so fed up with corporate America. You're bigger than this. Like I really did believe I was bigger than that. Has anyone ever felt that way that you're like, I think I might be, yeah, I think I'm bigger than this. Like everyone around me just, oh man, I was thinking about this last night. It makes me a little crazy. Like when I worked at Applebee's in college, like they were like, every time you're here on the shift, Michelle, it runs so smoothly. I remember my GM telling me that. The general manager, the guy was strict. He was really like serious. But he's like, whenever you're here, it runs smoothly. I'm like, because I'm a hustle. I'm hustle. I roll the silverware really fast. I bring out the kitchen really fast. I smile. I'm like, good. I was like crazy. Right. And if you're like that, if you're like an overachiever in your life, you would make a fantastic entrepreneur. And sometimes we're stuck in a job that we're like, why am I overachieving here? That you are meant to rise up and be an entrepreneur. And then I'll never forget, I was selling pharmaceuticals, dream job out of college, making $44,000 a year, 22 years old. They always had for the team for pharmaceuticals, there was 5 of us on the team. There was the really smart one. And it wasn't me. Okay. The really smart one that was like real technical, like she knew everything about every molecule. Then they had a guy, he was the military guy. He was really stern and he was really smart too. Then there was a mom, she was really smart too. But she's friendly, she's real friendly. Then there was just a jovial, happy guy. And then there was the token girl right out of college. Oh, that's me. But I remember being token girl out of college in this job, being like, what am I even doing here? I don't even like medicine. Like, I had to learn words like bisphosphonates and osteoclast and osteoblast. And like, I'm like, this is so boring. Like, I was so not into it. Have you ever had a job like that? I'm just not into this. I'm not. But I was like, but it's a great paycheck. I work from home. Okay. I have a a company car, laptop, expense account, right? Whatever. But I'll never forget one of my coworkers said, this isn't a job that you're going to make a ton of money, but you can just smooth sail. Like you can just like get by, smooth sail for your life. Like don't ever leave this job. And I was like, is that what you want to do? Like, I don't want to do that. I don't think, do I want to smooth sail? I'm like, I don't think I want to do that. I don't think that doesn't sound exciting to me. That does not sound exciting to me. I want to rise up. Right. And so at that time, while I'm in that job, my coworker, Sam, who was very entrepreneurial, I forgot about him. See, Sam was on the team. He was the fit, young entrepreneurial guy, right? He was the other part of the team. It was really actually fun. The people that I worked with, I still friends with a lot of them today. But anyway, so he was very entrepreneurial. And he's like, I know you want bigger stuff. He's like, my wife sells for this beauty company. You should go to this hotel thing with her. So I go to this hotel thing, right? Not knowing a thing about network marketing, direct sales. And there's lady in the room claims to make six figures. Another one's a millionaire. Another one's driving a free car. And I'm like, dude, this seems like a fantastic opportunity. Or it's a scam. I don't know. Which one is it? Why is everyone so happy? They were so happy. They were like hugging and like, la, la, la. And I was like, they're really happy. I'm like, there is no way that like 40 women showed up in a room and they're putting on a show for me. You're like, I literally was like, maybe it's fake. And then so I go home and I tell my mom, and mom's like, honey, just telling you, sounds too good to be true. Like network marketing can be like, you get pushy, you can be annoying, people will run the other way, and you're an introvert. I'm just telling you. I'm like, you're right. Yeah. I am one of those people growing up. I'm over it now, but like I cared so much about what people thought about me. Probably because I was the poor kid growing up. My mom was a single mom. We lived in the dirty house. We had snakes in our basement. I had mold and mildew on my wall, which was just like standard process. Every time it rained, there was like mildew. Like, yeah, there's mildew. And I grew up in like a mold house. It wasn't terrible. I mean, it's just one wall was moldy. No big deal. So I come from very humble beginnings. But anyway, so I'm like, you're right, mom. Maybe I shouldn't do this. Okay. So I then boldly just ignore her. Right. I'm like, dude, I'm 23. And I'm sorry, but at 23, you don't have to listen to your mom. Right. You don't listen to your mom. So I sign up. And I remember going to Friendly's restaurant. Anyone ever been to a Friendly's in New England? Friendly's had the ice cream and the little cone on the head with the chocolate around the cone. The best. So anyway, I go to hotel, or no, it's Friendly's. And I meet with the lady who's my leader, and I'm 23 and I don't know, she's like 40 years older than me. Okay. And she's like, okay, this is the way we build our business. You're going to go up to strangers in parking lots. You're going to meet women at the grocery store. I'm like, oh my gosh. Okay. Yikes. Am I doing that? Am I doing this? Okay. I'll just smile. Pretend like you are good with this. I'm like, maybe I will be good with this. I'm going to have to be good with this. This is my new business. And then she presents the inventory packages to me. Okay. And I'm like, okay. All right. Well, she's like, so if you're really motivated and you're really a big thinker, then I would go with the bigger package. And I'm like, well, I am all of that. So yeah, I'm going to get the $3,000 package of inventory. So boom, I buy it with my credit card. I'm like, that's right. Better watch out. Here, take over the world. My inventory comes. I put it in my closet. I'm like, I'm going to take over the world. My roommate's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, going to sell this stuff. So excited. And then on the next day, I'm like, okay, got my business. I organized all my stuff. I'm going to take my business cards. I'm going to just tell people that I sell this stuff. Okay. So I had my cards. I had my business cards with me. I'm in my company car. I'm selling my pharmaceuticals. I got like Fosamax and Zocor and Vioxx is what I sold. Those are my medicines. I had them in my bag. Gosh, I remember I had a bag. I would carry those samples everywhere, and then the doctors would sign for them. And then I in my other pocket was my business cards because I was going to sell them the makeup. And I'll never forget the first appointment I go into. I was like, just do it. Just say it. Just like do it. And I'm like, no, I can't. I can't say it. I can't do it. I'm not saying anything. Okay, no, just don't. No, just don't do it. Just don't. This is me like inner talk in my head. So I get back to the car. I'm like, man, you could have said something. She had skin. You could sell to anyone with skin, they said. I'm like, okay, I know, but I don't know how to bring it up. I'm like, hi, I like your skin. Do you want some makeup? Like couldn't figure it out. So I next office I go to, I would visit like 8 offices a day. Next office, I'm going to do it again. I'm like, I can't do it. I literally couldn't do it. And so that night I went home and I'm like, I'll just Google ideas. I will Google ideas on how to do this. Like what to say to like get a new client. Like, how do you say it? So then I read all these scripts and everyone had a different idea. I read so many scripts that I was like, I'm really confused now. This is really confusing. So the next day it's the same thing. I'm going to do it. And nothing again. And I'm starting to feel like a failure. And I'm like, why can't you just get like stop it? Don't be such a weirdo. Just like tell them. Just tell the people that you sell the stuff. So I'll never forget there was this one very pivotal moment. I am at a bank and there is a lady who and I'll finish the story and I want to show you what I was creating right now because it's fantastic. So anyway, I'm at the bank, right? And in a moment of boldness at the bank, there's this very sharp lady filling out her checking deposit slip. You know, when you're standing at that little thing in the center of the bank and she's there filling out that private banking information, like her checking number. And I decide this is a fantastic time to talk to her about skincare makeup. It's my first moment. I'm so excited. It's like that's not a very good time to pick. But either way, I'm like, "Hi, you're so pretty. I just started selling for this company, and I don't know if you'd be interested in trying our products out." She's like, "Oh my gosh, really? Yes, I would." I'm like, "Really? Oh my gosh, let me get your name and number." And she gives me her name and number. I'm like, "Okay, well, I'll just circle back with you. We'll connect." She's like, "Okay." And I'm like, "Dude, you better stop it. Like, I'm so good at this. Like, so good at this." I was so excited. So I go home and doing we didn't have cell phones. You couldn't text. That's a nightmare for an introvert. I was like, okay, I gotta call her, I gotta call her, I gotta call her, I gotta call her. And I was so stressed, 22, 23 years old, however old I am. And I'm like, I gotta call her. And I'm like, I can't call her. I don't even know what to say. I don't even know what to say. I'm like, just do it, just do it, just do it. So I called her and I got her answering machine. And I was like, hey, this is so and so. Like, I didn't even know what I was saying. I don't even think I finished the message. Like, and then I forgot to give her my number and then I hung up. And I was like, okay, maybe next time I should practice this. Maybe that's a thing. So then I call back again and I say, I'm so sorry. I forgot to leave my number, but I would love to get together. Fumbling over my words. Okay. Anyway, she doesn't answer. So I tell my leader, I tried to call one person and she hasn't called me back. And she's like, one? One person? I'm like, yeah, just like one, I'm just waiting for that one to finish and then I'll move to the next one. She's like, oh, okay. Well, you can do a lot more than one. I'm like, nope, doing the one first, and then I'll move to the next. This is my strategy. This would not be a good strategy if you're like, is that a good strategy? No, no, that's a terrible strategy. It is. So I called again. I called again. I called again. Like over the course of like, I don't know, month and a half. She said call 7 times once a week. I'm like, oh my gosh, now I've become a stalker. Like officially, like get me a hat, put me in something that stalkers wear. I should have been in that outfit. Really, seriously. And she didn't never call me back. She never called me back. And then I'm like, "Shoot, I'm like such a failure. Oh, I can't do this." So then my lady that recruited me was like, "Oh my gosh, there's a retreat. It's in Vermont. It's gonna be amazing." So I go to the retreat and I'll remember there was the leaders on stage with their fancy jackets and they were making all the money. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like I don't know who those ladies are, or how they got on the stage like that. But me, 23-year-old, I want to be them, but like I don't know what they must talk to people. And they don't understand I'm not doing that. That's horrifying. Like, and I know they say step out in fear, or whatever the word is, step out into your confident. I'm like, I know, but I don't want to really. I'm just trying to not do that. Is there a way to win without doing that? Seriously, for anybody listening, it's an introvert. You're like, is there a way? I'm like, yes, yeah, 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 yeah. I can show you. Okay, so I leave that event. Like I remember we stayed up late and we had notebooks and we wrote in our notebooks all our dreams and we drank our little coffee on these comfy couches in the crisp air in Vermont, cuddled up on our blankets, and then you'd meet someone new and they're like, you are an entrepreneur, you have a dream, like I have a dream too. I was so into it. Like I've never been to something where I'm like, this is my thing. Like I was so into it. And nobody in my circle understood. My family was like, I'm like, no, I'm gonna be an entrepreneur. Like, can't even hear you. Okay. No, my friends were like, what are you doing? Just you have a safe job. It's secure. I'm like, that's maybe not my goal. Maybe my goal isn't to just have a safe job and be secure. Okay. Maybe that's not my goal. Okay. So anyway, I leave that event. I'm all fired up. And then I try again. I'm at the mall. We go on a scavenger hunt one day, and we're gonna find new clients this day. And I'm like, this will be fantastic. Okay. So we go, and I'm with her, and she's like, we're gonna talk to women. I'm like, okay. And she was winning because she would just go up to people. She'd be like, ooh, lady with red hair, check. Hi, you have red hair. Oh my gosh. And we're doing a scavenger hunt. Listen, I work for this company and we are looking for people to model, try our products, give us some feedback. Would you be game for something like that? Like she was like that. And I'm like, what the heck is that? Like, how are you not dead inside after doing that to a stranger? Like, it was so scary to me. So scary. So then I'm like, fine, I'll do it. I'll do it. I'll do it. Cause I see her doing it and I'm losing and I don't like to lose. So I'm like, fine, I'll do it. So I walk up to a lady. I'm like, hi, I'm with, and I say the name of the company. She's like, you are? Oh my gosh, I have been looking for a rep forever. I lost mine years ago, and I've been wanting to host a party and wanting to have someone come over, and like I've got girlfriends that would come. Like I would love. Oh my gosh, would you do a party for me? And I'm like, I'm like, "Was I don't even know what to do at a party." I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, absolutely." I'm like, "I feel like this is like really good." I was so like, I was like really like excited, but like, whoa, this is a lot. I got to learn some things. So I'm like, okay, give me your number. She's like, great. We like set a date for that party. And she's like, just give me a call. Just give me a call. I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll call you. I'm like, oh shoot, I gotta call her. Okay, okay, you can do this, Michelle. You can call her. 23 years old. This is a story I thought I'd go to the grave with, but it's such a fantastic story now. I was like, just don't ever tell anyone. Don't ever bring it up again, Michelle, because you really messed that up. You really messed that up. So I didn't call her because I was nervous. I was very nervous. And I'm like, I'm just not going to call her. It'll go away. But I'll call her the day before, maybe. I'll just wait. I don't know. Every day I would think about it. I'm like, I don't know what to do. Maybe I shouldn't call her. So the day before this party that I have not confirmed or called her anything about, I call her. She is mad at me, which she should have been, but she shouldn't have been mean to me, but she sure was. And she's like, well, you never called. I was very excited. I told my girlfriends we were excited, but I never heard from you and I didn't have your number. So no, it's not on. And no, I'm not holding one. No. And I was like, we. I'm like, just Michelle, don't ever tell anyone that story. Just stop thinking about it. Just drop it. It's fine. It's a mess up. Let it go. Just let it go. You messed up. But don't ever tell anyone that story. Because I was like, oops, I really messed up. And then so from that incident, I take the next 5 years to drown in my sorrows about how I'm incapable of doing this. Thank you. From age 23 to 29, I stayed in this pit looking at my $3,000 inventory, dusting it off, starting to use copious amounts of it because I'm like, dude, I gotta like use this up or it's gonna like die. I called the company. I'm like, what's the expiration date? 3 years. I'm like, shoot, that stuff's like dead. I can't sell that. Now I've really messed up. It was like so many it was whammy after whammy after whammy. Like, you ever seen that game? TV where it's like with the heads? That was like me. And I share that because there might be someone watching. There might be someone watching that's like, you know what? I really did do. Yeah, I did mess up. And I felt in my heart, it felt heavy. And I just wasn't willing to let that be how the story ended. And when my family was like, you're still doing that 6 years later? How much have you made? Negative $200? No, probably negative, gosh, negative 3,000. Okay, like you're still doing that? And I was like, yeah. But I will share this with any of you that are in a place where you're not exactly where you want to be. One day the story that you have and the failures that you're having will one day inspire somebody. Network marketing's not going away ever. And people are always entering network marketing, always. And so one day you will share your story to someone who's new in network marketing, who is stuck in that cycle, who is like, yeah, I went to the event and I was excited, but then I didn't know what to do. And I like, blah, 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 blah. Right? Right? Where you feel like stuck. You will inspire someone with that story. So just know whatever journey you've had, your story is going to change someone's life in such a big way. So 29 years old, 29 years old, I'm fed up enough. I see some of your comments, like I have a story like that. I can so resonate with you. I get you exactly. Like I totally, we all have stories like that. And then occasionally you meet the top leader who's on stage like, hello, I joined. And on the first day I recruited 10 people and the next day 25. And yeah, we just earned the top level car in 5 days of being in the company. And you're like, what? Who is this? What? No, must be a scam. It's not possible. It's just not possible. So anyway, 29 years old, I'm like fed up enough. And I'm like, dude, I gotta make this work. I gotta make this work. I gotta make this work. And I had my dead inventory. I'm living in an apartment with my boyfriend, who's now my husband. Now he is, but then he was my boyfriend. We're in our apartment. It's a 1-bedroom apartment. It was like a studio. It didn't even have like the bedroom didn't even have wall that went to the top. It was, I don't even know what you call that. It was a little room. We lived in a little room with my dusty dead inventory in a little closet thing I bought from Target. Tuck that in there, right? And so I was like, okay, you know what? Real estate's dying. It's 2009. Real estate's dying, honey. I got to make this work. He's like, I'm sorry. Sweetie, I love you, but you used to be a pharmaceutical sales rep, like, and you were doing really great at that. And then you were selling uniforms. You're doing great at that. And then you moved into real estate and then that crashed. And so now you want to go do this thing that you've been trying to do for 6 years that's been a failure. Is it right?" And I'm like, "Yeah, but, like, hold on. I just give me 6 m can you give me 6 months? Like, I'm in. I'm gonna make this work. 6 months." And he's like, how about you just get a real job?" And I'm like, "No. Like, I don't no, I don't want a real job. I wanna prove to myself that I can do this." I'm like, "Give me 6 get how about this? Give me 6 months. If I don't make it work, I'll get a real job, and I'm not gonna ask you for money. I might eat some of your food. What do you think?" And he's like, "Okay, you got 6 months." Like, that was, like, the visible, like, you never swallow where you're like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna die. What have I done? Oh my gosh, okay, okay, he said it. Okay, I gotta do this. I got 6 months. Okay, like, I'm writing down dates, and I'm like, tomorrow's the day. I gotta, like, start this. So I Google that night. I find a lady that lives in the local area that works for the same company, and I'm like, "Dude," I didn't say dude. I was like, "Hi, my name is Michelle Cunningham." I actually, at the time, it was Michelle Paquette. Michelle Paquette, I've been with the company for 6 years, and I just haven't really jump started, and I'm just looking to kinda get my feet off the ground. She's like, "Oh, okay." Like, "Okay, another one of you doing nothing. I'm not gonna change anything." But she was nice. She was like, "Just come to our meeting on Monday. Like, it's no big thing." So I pull up to that meeting on Monday, and, I drive into the driveway, and I called my husband, and I said, he was my boyfriend. I said, "Boyfriend, I just got to this house and I just feel awkward like going in. Like I don't know. It's like people pulling up. Don't know. I don't know. It just feels weird." And he's like, "I'm sorry. Honey, you don't have a job." And I was like, "Yeah, yeah, that's right. Yeah, 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 right. Yes, I don't have a job. Right. Okay. Okay. Yeah. All right. I love you. I'm gonna go in now. Okay. Bye. Okay. Oh, okay. I gotta go into this house now." I'm like crazy lunatic. Like introvert. I can do this. I gotta do this. Go into the house. So I go into the house. Ah, they're so nice. It was just like 6 years ago at that hotel room. Ah, they're so nice. And at that retreat in Vermont. Ah, everyone's so nice. And I'm like, I feel like I love these people. They're nice. Why can't I just let this go? Like, do what they're doing. They're very nice. So I go in, and that lady who is the leader, driving the fancy car, who's earned at the point she'd earned a million or more at that point, and then went on to earn way more. But she is standing in front of us and she's talking and she's like, "I'm an introvert from humble beginnings. I don't have the perfect past. And every day I get up and I feel the fear and I do it anyway, ladies. This is hard for me. It's hard for me. Even though I've achieved what I've achieved, it's always hard for me." And as she's saying this, a red rash is forming on her neck. Like that camouflage. You ever seen camouflage and it's like red and then white, and like because she's nervous. And I'm like, "Dude, that's amazing. If she's nervous, I'm nervous, but she did it. I could do this." And she said successful women feel the fear and do it anyway. I'm like, all right, I feel like I could do this. I really feel like I could do this. And so as I'm leaving that night, she hands me a little packet and she's like, "Here is a 60-page document." And it might not have been that first meeting. It might have been the second one when I came back when she realized I was committed. Right. The second meeting, you know what happened? True story. The second meeting she told me to come back to, I didn't come back to. And I wasn't going to go back because I felt like I wasn't going to do this. And the only reason that I went back to that second meeting is because that lady who did not get paid on me and who cared enough called me up and said, "Hey, we missed you at meeting last week. Why didn't you come back?" And I was like, "Oh, I just thought maybe, I don't know. I didn't think you guys," in my head, I'm like, "I didn't think you liked me. I didn't think this was for me. I just don't think I can do this. I've been failing for so long." But her phone call is the reason I am where I am today. Because without that phone call, I wouldn't have gone back to that meeting and I would have gotten stuck again and I would have never jump started my business. I would have never had the success that I have. I would have never gone on to write books. Like the whole thing. I mean, I always tell her, I'm like, "I love you." She's still one of my dear friends today. I'm like, "I love you." I send her flowers all the time because I'm like, her belief changed my life. Right. And if I can be that for one person, like it makes me cry because like I was stuck for so long. See, I cry. But, like, you need someone like that in your life, and so, anyway, get emotional thinking back to such a hard time in my life. So, anyway, I go back to that next meeting, and she hands me 60 pages, and she's like, "Listen, I just went to a training. It's an amazing training, and this is everything that you need. It shows you how to generate leads. It shows you how to get appointments. It shows you how to like what to say at the party." Like it was literally everything. And when she handed me that packet and she said, "Next week, I want you to come back and you're going to be teaching the guests. You're in charge." And I was like, "Oh, like, oh no." Right. But I was like, "This is it. Like, I have everything I need now. And I'm not willing. I am not willing. Ah, wasn't supposed to cry. But yeah, I remember it was a tough time in my life because I had no job. I was broke. I was in debt. I had credit card debt. I was at like $20,000 in credit card debt. I was just a mess, right? And so yeah, so I learned that packet. I obsessed over that packet, and I was like, and I knew so much that like I was going to make this work because of that packet. And the next week I went and I did the presentation and I nailed it. And I referenced the packet. I like, when I didn't know what to say, I looked back at the packet while I was talking to the people, and I kind of figured out what to do. And then I started tweaking little things. I'm like, but maybe when we do the appointment, we should ask for referrals. I have an idea. And she's like, okay. So I started to say, we should play a game. I have this idea. And so I started to come up with some ideas to add to her thing. And it made it more robust. And we started getting, and it's so funny. I got to show you this. I was cleaning out my office. I got to show you this. So I found my binder from like back in the day, but this was the game we started to play. It's called the Fabulous Game. And we generated so many leads. Like this is just from, maybe a month or two of work. I had leads coming out my eyeballs, like so many leads. I had to give them to my team because and I was like, this is a system. Like this is a strategy, right? And if I can teach this to my team, dude, forget about it. Like we had so many leads, and I saved this because this was the game changer for me, was figuring it out, right? And so that document changed the game for me. The training changed the game for me. And 6 months later, after meeting her, I was leading a team of 50 reps, if you can believe that. It's crazy to say. I had like 0 the first month, then I had 10 because I was seeing so many people, and I was doing the presentation, showing them the stuff, and like going to networking events, and then doing the lead thing. And I finally figured out, oh, it's a numbers game. People business, but it's a numbers game. If I can just work the numbers. And when you start working the numbers at a very high level, this was such an aha for me. I started working the numbers in such a big way. And I had so many leads coming in that no longer could I stop and think, that lady didn't get back to me, the lady from the bank who didn't get back to me, or the lady from the mall that I ticked off. There was no more thinking like that, because I'm like, dude, I have so many people that I'm dealing with. Like, I actually don't care if some people fall off. Like, I don't care if 25 people ignore me today, because actually that would be fantastic. Because if all of them responded, I'd have like 150 messages to deal with. And I'm not trying to do that. I'm just trying to find the ones that are really interested right now. Right. And so when I started to work the numbers, you were like, you couldn't have everyone reply back because it would upset your balance. Your phone would go banana chickens. You would lose your mind. And that's when I was like, I can do this. I can do this at this level. When we're dealing with so many people, we take the emotion out of it. And that's what changed the game for me. Literally, that's what changed the game. And so that I went on to teach my team. And what's cool about this is that I did not build my business walking up to strangers. If you said to me today, Michelle, go outside and talk to a stranger and sell them your course. Like even now, I'm just such a weirdo. People are like, what do you do? I'm like, oh, I'm just like a stay-at-home mom. I have like a little I do like some online training. My friends will be like, one of my friends who's an entrepreneur is like, that's what you're gonna say you do? I'm like, well, yeah, because I am kind of. She's like, girl, because she knows it's not just a little online thing. I run a very big business now, right? But I don't know. There's something about me. I just get weirdo in person. I'm like, nee. Anyway, so I show that to my team, and that we just grow exponentially. Now, I did not approach people because that's not my thing. I put out jars around town. We were home party reps, so I did a lot of this in person. So we did jars around town. We had flyers on college campuses. We had the referral game that we played, and we played a game called Deal or No Deal. That was the in-person stuff that we did. But then one day I was bored, like a good entrepreneur. I will always be bored, and I will always create new things. And I had someone say to me, Michelle, are you ever going to just stop doing this? I'm like, no, what? No. Because my brain is like, I have another idea. This is a really good idea. This is how we can get more leads. This is how we get more sales. This is how we change more lives. I get so into it. I get so fired up. So anyway, so I take that strategy. I teach it to my team, and I lost my train of thought because I get so excited about what I was saying, and teach it to my team. And then I'm like, I'm such a visual. So when I lose the picture of where I was traveling, and then so we grow exponentially. And I forget what my next thought was. But anyway, so that is what then grew my team. And then I took it online. That's right. So then I started a YouTube channel. I started to share strategies there because I was bored, and I just shared it to be nice. what I didn't realize was that by sharing my strategies online in a generic way, just to help anybody in network marketing, was that that would turn into people asking how they could join my team because they liked me, which blew my mind also. That anyone would like me. Like I wasn't popular. I mean, I hung out with the popular kids in our class of 42 kids in East Granby, Connecticut. Okay. I hung out with the popular kids, but I was a quiet, weird one. And the guys did not like me. They did not like me. I don't know why. I remember Mr. Cheever in seventh grade said, Michelle, I was just trying to be cool. I was trying to hang out with the boys and sit at their table like the other cool girls did. And when I did, the boys would get annoyed. And Mr. Cheever, he was my science teacher. He said, Michelle, why don't you just leave the boys alone? Seventh grade. I know. It was just so awkward, very awkward. So so that was not really good. So anyway, but I start sharing my strategies online and then people like me. And I just can't believe it. I really can't. But I'm like, that's fantastic that this is helpful to people and they like me. And then they were asking to join my team. They were asking how they could buy products from me. They were asking how I was doing this. I just realized I completely forgot a ring light. Who even cares? Doesn't even matter. The story's still good. Sometimes we overthink this stuff. It's just not necessary. My ring light's right over here. Turned off. So funny. So anyway, so though that started to bring in more business. And at first, one new person a month would join my team. Then it was 2 people a month. Then it was 3 people a month. Then it was 4 people a month that would find me online and join my team. Then it was 5 people a month that would join my team. And I was like, I don't know what this is, but I feel like this is a strategy, right? But this is 7 years ago that I started this channel, and I did not know attraction marketing. I didn't know any of that. I wasn't even studying marketing. I didn't even know that was a thing, but it is a thing. And now more than ever, using social media, you realize that by showing up as you and being out there for people, you can attract people to you. You can attract people to join your team. You can attract, which is crazy amazing. So not only I come when I train, I come from a unique perspective in that I am an introvert, number one. Number two, I built in person, so I know a lot of local lead generating strategies. I was a whiz at that. I probably messaged close to 100,000 people. I'm not kidding. The amount of messages that we sent out a day to book appointments was like nothing you've ever seen. I even hired high schoolers to help send messages. We were crazy bananas, okay? So I do in-person stuff, but I also do online stuff. And now today, because I've left the space to be a trainer for network marketers, I'm also an internet marketer and I happen to be really good at that. I've generated several $1,000,000 in the last few years just as an internet marketer. So I know a lot about this stuff and I love it. Like I get so fascinated with the process of generating leads, nurturing people, building a relationship, selling them something, upselling them more things, closing the sale, continuing to keep them as a client, and then potentially recruiting them to my team, right? When I was a network marketer. Now I don't really recruit people. I guess I could. I probably could really crush it in network marketing business if I was in one right now, but I'm really focused on just making stuff that helps network marketers. I love it. Okay, so that is the basis of January Jumpstart. And that is what I was just working on. I was just, oh, Randy, I love you. Randy was my friend. She was like, lived where I lived and we sold the same stuff. Oh my gosh, I love you guys. So, anyway, so I just wanted to share with you what I was working on. Please hold. I haven't released the January Jumpstart workbook to the students yet because the course starts next week. And so it starts next week. The training's going to be Thursday. I'm picked 3 times that you can come to the training. Let me, hold on. First I have to share my screen. Share my screen, share screen. Here we go. Okay. All right. So this is January Jumpstart. Go to thejanuaryjumpstart.com if you don't have a spot. If you you already have a spot, there's hundreds and hundreds of people that are requesting spots. And so the situation is my team is letting everybody into the Facebook community. So if you're like, why haven't I been let in yet? It's because they have to check that you bought it and then put you in the group. So stay tuned. Now, this training, instead of me doing like a 5-day training, what I did is I created a 60-page workbook, and I'm actually adding more pages to it right now, which is why I came live to show you what I'm adding. But I want to show you the dates. Instead of doing a 5-day training, I'm literally just doing 2-hour trainings. And so the first one's Thursday at 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. inside the Facebook group. If you can't catch it that time, it'll be identical this day, January 28th, because I'm pre-recording it. So I'm going to run it live, but I'm going to be there in the chat answering your questions so that my training won't be interrupted by me looking at the comments. I'm going to do all the training up front, then I'll run it live, and then you'll be able to I'll answer questions during these time slots. So those are the 3. There's January 27th at 7 p.m., Friday the 28th at 10:30 Eastern, and then Saturday the 29th at 1 p.m. If you can't watch live, you can catch the replays through midnight on Saturday. And if you're like, I'm going to be traveling or on vacation, that's a terrible week for me, then just grab the lifetime access upgrade and we'll put it inside your membership access area so that for the rest of your life, you can reference this training. Okay. Now, I've done this training in the past and people were like, is it going to be different? It's going to be some of the same and some different. So when this is the workbook here, and I was just adding some more stuff in it to it. So lesson one, we're going to be talking about the mindset stuff, like what I decided to do differently, what I changed, my daily actions, my daily plan, how I thought about my time. It's such a big thing. When you start thinking about your time differently, everything changes. So I'm going to be talking about that. Then lesson two, I'm going to show you local and in-person lead generating strategies. Lesson three, online lead generating strategies. So, I mean, nowadays, oh my gosh, reels are blowing up. I'm going to show you some reel strategies. Like I've got, and I'll show you in a second what I'm putting in here for you. I'm going to show you how to actually book appointments or get people to look at your opportunity or your products. I'm going to show you how to hold a successful party and create an awesome like script for your party. That was a game changer for me. That's changed everything for me. Then I'm going to show you how to get a new result in your business using a simple strategy. That's how my team started to really, really grow. Then I show you how to get your team to grow, exponential growth with your team, and then how to follow up with everybody, your team and your customers, so that you constantly have new sales coming in. So what I want to share with you is this is what I'm adding into module 3 right now. I'm going to be showing you exactly. I'm always testing out new things online. And I've got some reels on Instagram that are blowing up and generating so many leads that I'm like, okay, I need to get someone to help me, because there are so many comments coming in from several videos that I've just posted in the last few days. And so this is in real time. This is actual trends that are happening right now that you can easily duplicate. I was at Lowe's, not even kidding, looking for a new dishwasher 2 nights ago. And I'm like, honey, here, let's pretend we're in this kitchen. Let's film a video, right? And then I admit I'm in Lowe's. So I'm going to show you how you can do this, and then how it generated all of these comments and how it's still generating comments that I cannot keep up with. And then how you can do the same, how you can do something like this in 15 minutes. I walk you through step by step what music I picked, how to set a timer, how to like everything. I show you exactly like step by step what I did, and then how I added the titles, how I made it inspirational. I'm still finishing this page up for you. So I'm adding a lot of new stuff in there too. New stuff meaning like right now, which is why the workbook releases tomorrow, because the rest of the day I'm going to spend adding a bunch more in here. So, I mean, there's all this, like when I talked about the fabulous game today, that is in here. I show you the lead flyers that I use, the fabulous game, deal or no deal that we played at our appointments, then how you can generate leads from groups and QR codes. Some of this I trained in a previous time, but some of it I haven't. Oh, changing your profile to make it clickable. I'm going to show you, different scripts you can be using for your lead boxes. Oh yeah, I was so good at that. Oh yeah, how to reach out to your friends and family if you want to go that route. Oh, this is cool. This is how to book appointments, and it's a team guide, so you can actually edit this, change it for your company, and then give it to your team. If you feel like I've got a team, I want to give them something, you can give them a whole little guide there. Then I'm going to show you how to hold a party, either virtually or in person. It's like the body of the party, what to say, what questions to ask. If you're like, I don't even know, what games you could play to get more leads, how to get them to join your team, how to tell a funny story. Yeah, this was a really good story. I give you my story that I think this story in itself recruited like a bajillion people to my team. I'm serious. They're like, it's because of that mom story. So I give you that story. Oh yeah, how I had them pay. I literally didn't hold parties for the longest time because I did not know. I'm just making sure I'm sharing my screen. I am. I did not know. And tag friends in this. If you have friends that you think this would be helpful to them, tag them in this, because I do this once a year and then it goes away. I did not hold a party for the longest time because I did not know how to ask them for their money. Like sometimes these are the little things in our brain that hold us up. Where it's like, would I say, hi, give me your credit card now? Or would I say, do you want to pay me? How do you want to pay? I wanted someone to show me, how do you say this, right? And so when someone said, no, say it like this. So we take cash, check, debit, or credit card. And we also have a unique plan. It's called the Husband Unawareness Plan. That's a little bit of cash, a little bit of card, a little bit of check. So he'll never know. Just kidding. Or not. Right? Like those little one-liners are money. And I'm going to teach you those in this 2-hour training. Then what I said to them when I sat with them one-on-one, or when you're on a phone call with them, then, this game changer. I'm going to share about that. I'm going to share about that. And then, how to recruit people over coffee or by video chat, and then how to follow up, all my texts that I use, everything. Okay. So that's the deal. I kind of want to give you a little glimpse into that because it's pretty super duper fantastic. Um, and that to get a spot in this, yes, this will work for online parties. And I think Michelle, it'll be a mix of what I did in person and then what I did online. But you can use a lot of the in-person strategies, and you can also use them online. And you might just take little golden nuggets from stuff I said at my party that you can then say online, or just there's lots of little one-liners in there that are super valuable. I didn't charge much for this. It's a $17 training. So, right, let me just make sure that's correct. It was like really cheap. Yeah, $17 to this live training. And if you're like, no, I need lifetime access, you can just click the upgrade. So you're going to get 2 hours of live interactive training with me. You're going to get our private Facebook community. I'm going to do giveaways during the broadcast. You get the printable workbook with scripts, emails, Canva templates, more, plus QR codes. I'm linking up stuff to videos that I recommend that you shoot today so you can get a result tomorrow. Like, I want you to walk away from this with like, dude, I can't believe that just happened. I can't believe it. I got someone that said they're interested in making money from home. Or I got someone that's interested in losing weight and they want my product. I'm going to show you. And I also watch reels and I watch network marketers to see how they're doing it. And so I'm going to be sharing some of those with you too. And then I give you a team building booking guide for your team. So that's the deal. Who's in already? I'm super excited. If you have any questions, I'd love to answer them. If we're already in the lifetime access group, do we still sign up here? So if some people get confused where they buy my courses and they're like, one time I bought lifetime access. I'm like, that's lifetime access for that particular course. So if you did not buy this course, then you would not have this course because this will be a new course. And if you want lifetime access to this new course, then you can click the lifetime access upgrade. It's a great question because we actually do get that quite a bit. Okay, I couldn't get it. Yay! How do I sign up? So January Jumpstart .com is where you can sign up. The JanuaryJumpstart.com is the website. And feel free to share this if there's somebody that is stuck or they just those emotions of like I can't believe I started crying on this live, but it feels like that. You feel like you have marbles in your mouth and you feel stuck, and you're like, if someone could just give me like a plan, and I could have like people to ask questions to, and so you feel like you've got everything you need, so there's no more excuses. Because sometimes we'll continue to make excuses when it's like, no, we just need to get into action. So let's do a winner. I'm going to give away my unicorn coasters. Let me grab them. You guys, I was working out yesterday. I'm trying to do 5 times a week of this it's called Brazilian butt lift. You better watch out. I'm going to get a butt. I never had one in my whole life, but my goal this year is to get a little bit of a butt. Just a little. It's very flat. Anyway, but I was doing the Brazilian butt lift thing, and you had to do these for the skinny arms or something. And then my rib dislocated. I'm like, what in the God's greener? So my rib has dislocated. So today I had to go to the chiropractor. I'm like, can you put my rib? Because it hurts. So if I move too much, it hurts. And I didn't remember until I just stood up, which is why I'm sharing that story with you. Okay, these are unicorn coasters. Say coasters. Yes, you can still get the workbook if you don't watch the training. Some people just sign up for my trainings to steal the workbook and run off with it. Totally okay. Good strategy. Yeah, so yeah, the just sign up and then just steal the workbook and run off with it. That's fine. Okay, I'd say unicorn coasters. These are really, really super duper fun. So, and I know I need to get these on a sales page. Everyone always wants to buy them, but they're not really that cheap. I'd have to charge so much for them, but they're really fantastic, aren't they? So they're going to be personalized with your name. Successful women feel the fear and do it anyway, just like that powerhouse, and it'll say your name. Make sure you say coasters and you say your name after it, please, because I see a bunch of Facebook users coming in. So I don't want to pick someone and it doesn't say your name. This one says, I'm just over here being a walking, talking, sparkling unicorn. Just my daily reminder that I, Michelle Cunningham, am officially powerful, unstoppable, and fearless. But it'll say your name, not mine. Right? And then, Michelle, you're like really pretty. That's what this one says. Michelle, you're like really pretty. And this one says, be a unicorn in a field of horses. Be that unicorn. Be like Michelle. And I mean, these are high quality. This is like really heavy duty, shiny stuff on it. Whatever you call that heavy duty, shiny stuff. Clearly not what I sell. Hey, my heavy duty, shiny stuff. Actually, maybe that would be a good sales pitch. I don't know what it is, but they're heavy duty, shiny. Okay, so here we go. Picking a winner. N3. Oh, hold on. I'll share my screen so you know I'm not cheating. Okay, I'm going to close my eyes. Okay, and then I'm going to go down. Okay, ready? And the winner is click. Tammy Serzwinski. You just won. So exciting. Okay. All you have to do, Tammy, just shoot us a text. Let me share it. Here it is. Boom. Okay. Okay. You know what? My mom's gonna see my live. She's so cute. She'll be like, "Did you have did you have makeup on today? Is everything okay?" Okay. Yeah, I just saw your live. You look different. Like, I know, mom. I was working in the office today. She's always worried. She's worried that something's wrong with me if I didn't put the makeup on. Got a little on. My mom is so cute. She's gonna start a YouTube channel, you guys, and we're gonna follow her. She wants to take people to wineries around North Carolina. And I'm like, Mom, let's do it. So stay tuned. I'll keep you posted on my mom's YouTube channel. She hasn't started yet. She's still thinking about it. She's thinking and thinking. I'm like, okay, mom, let's start it. Let's get it going. I have a random question. Where do you get the pink and white boxes? So these are from at home. These ones. Yeah, so this is from at home. There's the sticker. At home. $19. And sometimes at home has a clearance section, so I'll buy like a scratch and dent. Just it's the poor girl in me. I grew up poor. I certainly could afford but why spend more when you can spend less? Doesn't make sense to me. It just doesn't. I don't know. I know people buy the red bottom shoes and they're fancy, and I just don't. I'm like, dude, I'll buy them from Target, thank you, and spray paint the bottoms red because I feel like that would be smarter. All right. Any other questions I can answer? Yeah, I know, Shamika. I'm excited for her. She's so cute because she's like, okay, I'm thinking about the name. Thinking it could be mini road trips, or it could be mini road trip. Should it be plural or singular? I'm like, probably if you're gonna take them on a lot of trips, maybe trips. I think that's good, mom. She's like, okay, I'm gonna think about it some more. I'm like, okay. Me, I'm like, let's just go. But I'm a little much. I'm a little crazy. I know. At home is a great story. If you don't know, I did not know about it until I knew about it. And then I was like, this is the best store ever. Don't go to at home if you don't want to spend money. That's very good advice. If you have lifetime access previously, do you have to pay for the upgrade? Yes, because it's a brand new course. So it might have some of the same information from last time, but it's a new course because it's January Jumpstart 2.0. So it's actually a different course. Thanks. I just ordered in, I think, 200 of these. We give these out. We're giving them out to our 90-day students in the course right now, which is really fun. Excited about that. Okay. All right. Dude. Randy said, dude. Okay. I'm still trying to fix all appliances. Yeah, I have the same situation going on here. I'll just tell you I'll end with a funny story because I feel like I was on an episode of Punked. Have you remember the prankster show? I'm telling you guys, there's either a ghost in this house, which is confirmed because one day I was live and a book fell off the shelf. It went, and I was like, there's a ghost over there. But this is a very funny story. I'll end with this, okay? This is going to be a funny story and potentially a hack. Yeah, if you purchased a class years ago and you definitely still have access, just email my support team if you're like, where is it? I have bought courses from people too, and I want to just email and be like, where's my course? So we have a dedicated support team. They respond within 24 hours. Just say, hi, I bought a course. It was maybe this email, this email, this email. Where is it? And they will tell you where it is. So yes, you will still have it. Yeah, here's a very funny story. Okay, our dishwasher, it just stops mid-cycle and then it hisses at you. So it goes, and I'm like, okay, that's really weird. This may be bad. So I'm like, I will call someone. So I call a man, and it takes him 10 days to come out. And I'm like, it's fine. It's no big deal. It's just Christmas. Like literally, I don't think we had a dishwasher over Christmas because it was hissing at us. I'm like, it's no big deal. He'll come in 10 days. Okay, so we're like hand washing Christmas dishes. Not the actual day, but the dishes. And so he comes out and he goes to run it. And while he's here, it runs perfectly and finishes with the little blue light on the floor at the end, which means a cycle is done and it was successful. And he's like, ma'am, seems fine to me. And I'm like, no, it's not fine, but okay. He's like, just call me if it breaks again or blah, blah. And while he's there, I'm like, can you fix our hood vent? I'm not even kidding. This story, you're going to be like, you do have a ghost. Our hood vent above our stovetop, when you push one of the 3 buttons, low, medium, or high, it grinds, like clicking, grinding. The fan is whacking something, and it sounds like a tornado. It's terrible. You really can't use it. It does function, but it's like someone puts a helicopter in your house, and like it's so terrible. So I don't use it. We don't use it for Christmas. We got smoke everywhere. We got smoke billowing through the house. We got doors open at Christmas because just stuff was cooking. I wasn't the one involved in that. Okay, I had a bad Thanksgiving. The turkey got ruined. Anyway, I was not involved in the billowing smoke, but the fan would have been helpful. Wouldn't have happened with the fan. He comes. I kid you not. This guy pushes the button and the fan operates like normal. I am not kidding. The fan has not operated like normal since November. It just one day broke and it's never worked. And when he pushed and it was just humming quietly. He's like, setting 2 is a little clicky. I'm like, you're right. I won't use setting 2, but if I could just have a low fan, that'll be fine. I'm like, that's amazing. That's never done that. He's like, yeah, I don't know. I just turned it on. So while this guy is here, the dishwasher is working and the fan is working. And this is where it gets really crazy. There's a kid in the neighborhood who's 19 years old and he fixes everything in our house when it breaks. He's amazing. And when he was over, I was like, dude, the Ring doorbell is just sometimes working, sometimes not. When people ring it, sometimes works, sometimes it doesn't. Could you maybe figure it out? And he goes over to it and it hadn't been working all that week. And he pushes it and he's like, I don't know, it's working fine. Doorbell rings. Everything is fine. These gentlemen leave my house. The Ring doorbell breaks, the fan goes bananas, and the dishwasher does not run and hisses at me. And I'm like, it's not even possible. It's not. And then I'm like, there's got to be a go. What is it? I don't know what it is. So anyway, my husband's like, well, maybe the dishwasher will fix. I'm like, how about maybe no. How about let's just go to Lowe's? Like, I am done. Because the guy got back to me. It's like, if we could come fix it, but it's gonna be like 600. I'm like, at this point, let's just go get a new one. We'll go get a new one. So we went and bought the creme de la creme. The guy said, get the Bosch 800 series. I'm like, what's that gonna run me? So anyway, I got a new dishwasher coming, but right now I don't have one. So now the dishes go like this. Yeah, my home is new. Yeah, we bought the model home though. So that's the little issue is when you buy the model home, there's no more warranties. And when you buy the model home, if someone else who moves in, like before you're in it, their dishwasher's not working, they just switch it out of the model and put it in here. Maybe the fan, maybe that's what was going on, which is okay because I feel like we got a really good deal on the model. Like some people that bought our same house paid $100,000 more. So I'm like, it's okay. I'm totally fine with buying a new dishwasher because I saved $100,000. I feel like it was a good deal. Anyway, okay, so that's a very random story. I just felt the need to get that off my chest because there was something going on, and it's only laughable. It's the whole thing is laughable. So, all right, I gotta go. I gotta continue designing. I'm adding more to January Jumpstart. If you think of something in your brain that you're like, man, I really wish you would throw that in there, let me know. But I only have 2 hours to do the training in, so I'm making the workbook as detailed as possible so I can be like, hey, like it won't have to show you step by step everything. I can just be like, just follow this guide. So I'm making it so you can literally copy and create things online and just make money. So tell all your friends about January Jumpstart. It's going to be off the chain. It comes with a money back guarantee because I don't need to make money if you're not making more money. So if it's the worst thing in your whole life and like your life is ruined, it's no problem. We'll give you a refund. We're not here to ruin lives. We're here to help you make more money. And when I say we're, me, I guess, and my team. Okay, so that's it. Oh, you do. Oh, good. Okay. That's what he said. Get the Bosch series dishwasher, the 800. So we get to Lowe's and they're like, oh, we don't carry the 800. I'm like, oh, it's like I'm a diva. Like, oh, you only have the 500? I'm sorry. I need to get the 800. He said the 800. I know nothing about dishwashers other than the only thing I know is that I need a Bosch 800. That's it. So, yeah, that's another thing. And I like when things go wrong because it makes for a fantastic story. It really does. And I want to write a book. I do. I want to write a book. I'm like that happened. Like really funny things that happen. I love when things go wrong because it's always the best story ever. So anyway, okay. I love you. I gotta go. You're the best. You're so beautiful. And I'll see you soon. Okay. Bye, friends.